The room is quiet. So quiet you can hear the dust settling on the grand forgotten furniture. You've just told her your deepest fear. You've cracked open your own ribcage and shown her the frantic, terrified bird beating against your bones. You expect warmth. You expect comfort. Instead, you get silence. A silence so profound, so cold, it freezes the air around you. Her expression hasn't changed, but everything has. You just triggered her #1 disgust switch. And the devastating part? You thought it was an act of love. This isn't a story about a cruel woman. This is a story about a primal, psychological mechanism buried so deep in her subconscious, she isn't even aware of it. It's a switch that once flipped rarely flips back. It's the moment her perception of you as a pillar of strength, as a refuge, shatters into a million pieces. You see, in the theatre of attraction, she isn't looking for a co-star to share the tragedy. She is looking for a director, a steady hand when the lights go out. When you presented her not with a scar, but with an open, weeping wound, you weren't asking for a kiss to make it better. You were asking her to stop the bleeding. And in that moment, the roles reversed. You were no longer the protector. You became the one who needed protecting. This is not logic. This is not fairness. This is biology. A brutal, ancient script written in our DNA. A woman's attraction is deeply, primordially linked to a sense of security, not just physical, but emotional. She needs to believe that when the storms of life hit, you are the rock, not another boat being tossed by the waves. When you display emotional weakness, not sadness, not pain, but a collapse under their weight, you are showing her that you are also just a boat, and no one wants to tie their lifeboat to a sinking ship. Let's call him Elias. He was a master of his universe, a brilliant architect who built towers that scraped the sky. He moved with a quiet confidence that was its own form of gravity. And there was Serafina. She saw him not just as a man, but as a force. His certainty was her anchor in a world of chaos. She loved the fortress he had built around himself. One day the sky fell. A rival firm, a stolen design, a career on the brink of ruin. The fortress was breached. That night, he came to her. The architect of Titans was just a man. He didn't rage. He didn't strategize. He crumbled. He confessed his terror of failure, his feeling of being an imposter, his fear that he had nothing left. He was showing her the weeping wound. Serafina listened. She didn't move. Her mind, a place that once held him as a deity, was now a courtroom, and he was on trial. The first flicker wasn't anger, it was pity. And pity is the rust that corrodes the steel of admiration. She saw him not as a warrior facing a battle, but as a broken thing. The steady hand she relied on was trembling. Her subconscious mind, the ancient survivalist, asked a single, brutal question. If he cannot hold himself together, how can he possibly hold me? The disgust trigger wasn't his pain, it was his helplessness in the face of it. He wasn't navigating the storm, he was drowning in it, and he was trying to pull her down with him. From that night on, her touch was different. Her eyes looked through him. The fortress was gone, and now she only saw the ruins. He never recovered. Not his career, but her respect. He tried to rebuild his confidence, but she had already seen the ghost in the machine, and she could never unsee it. This is the critical distinction you must understand, the difference between attractive vulnerability and repellent weakness. Vulnerability is showing her a scar. This is where I was wounded. I fought. I survived. The scar proves it. It speaks of resilience. It tells a story of strength tested and proven. Weakness is showing her the open wound. I am bleeding. I cannot stop it. Save me. It speaks of collapse. It forces her into the role of the rescuer, a role she never auditioned for. Think of the ancient kings. They could feel fear, they could feel doubt, but they could never let the crown slip. The moment the people see the king tremble is the moment they start looking for a new king. Your emotions are not the problem. The storm inside you is not the problem. The problem is when you let the storm steer the ship. The problem is when you hand her the helm because you are too lost in the tempest. She does not want to be your therapist. She does not want to be your mother. She chose you because she saw strength. Show her anything else and the illusion shatters. So what is the answer? To become a machine? To feel nothing? No, that is the path of the hollow man, and it leads only to emptiness. The answer is emotional alchemy. It is the ability to feel the full, terrifying force of the storm, yet remain the unshakable captain of your own soul. It is processing your pain internally, or with a trusted circle of men, brothers in arms. It is facing your demons in the dark. So when you do bring her your pain, bring it as a story of a battle fought, not a plea for rescue. Bring her the scar, not the wound. You can say, wait, I faced a great fear today. It was hard, but I am still standing. That is strength. That is connection. You cannot say, I am terrified. I don't know what to do. Tell me everything will be okay. That is abdication. That is the trigger. Remember this. She fell in love with the lighthouse, tall, unshakable, a beacon in the endless night. Don't show her that inside. The stairs are crumbling and the light is about to go out. Fix the stairs, reinforce the light, but do it on your own time. For her and for the world, you must always be the light in the storm, because the moment you are not, the ships will simply look for another shore.